Billy, I thought it was okay. The beat and the song, I know you like it. I just, we'll let you go. I heard the little boom boom boom. I was like, such even such even have a ball with this one. This simple ass
Oh
beat.
man.
But yeah, I don't know. It just felt very skippable to me. I thought the beat and the song felt kind of reductive. Uh, but I kind of welcomed the beat change at the end where they gave kind of Future a different look. I thought that was more enjoyable to me than the hook that I thought was a little simplified.
Let me put you on game.
Yeah, let's move away from Crit for now, and let's talk about our next album. Let's talk about EARTHGANG, who has dropped their new project, Ghetto Gods. EARTHGANG, if you're not familiar with them, consists of their two members, Wild Great and Johnny Venus. They are both from Atlanta, where the players play, and this is uh, another one of their studio albums. They are a fast rising group signed to Dreamville, heavily associated with acts like Jid and J. Cole and Boss and Cos. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot to offer. And they've offered us this new album. So let's get into it. Let's talk about Ghetto Gods. What are your impressions of the album? How are you feeling about it?
I really am becoming a fan of EARTHGANG. They have converted me. They have a sound. They have a pace that I love. They aren't trying to. They do so much uniquely in the rap genre, from their look and their aesthetic to the way they pace themselves throughout the track. Their 1-2 punch that they have. Johnny Venus is just a master at creating hooks at this point. Like he really
Yeah.
puts on a master class in terms of creating just something catchy, something to vibe with, something to be excited about at the beginning of a song. And then you have Wild Great, also known as Dr. Dutt, on this project, and his charisma and his just lyrical ability on these tracks. It's a very Outcast kind of vibe in a way. You know, Outcast for 2022. In terms of them just having fun on the track, them having something poignant to say at times, them being ratchet at times, and them just having a good time. I felt that throughout this project, that they're having a good time, that they're engaging me into their world, and I really appreciated this project for that. How about you?
I liked it. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go because you know how I feel about Outkast. I'm not gonna go that far down the road. But I will say that they have a lot to offer, and I think that they released a really solid project to me. I don't think it's perfect. I think that there's a lot of tracks that I don't think I'll find myself going back to, but I do think that there's a lot to like here on the album overall. The album opens with The Glow, uh, featuring another Atlanta artist in 2 Chainz. Just really sets the tone for the album itself. And then we've got the title track, Ghetto Gods. I thought it was a really solid intro song. I really like the triumphant production on there. I think it's a good intro to them as a group if you've never heard of them. Um, and as someone who lives in Atlanta, it really felt familiar, like with a lot of the streets that they were shouting out, like Cascade Road,
Mm.
Campbellton. Like those are streets that I drive down, you know, semi regularly. You know, that's like the hood. So like it's really interesting to hear, you know, because places like New York or California, like those places get shouted out all the time. So it's like everyone is familiar with, like, you know, Flatbush or, you know, Rodeo Drive or all of these other really famous roads. But, you know, to hear Cascade Road, you know, or with the Hood Kroger, like just to hear that shouted out on a song is really cool.
Yeah.
Uh Billy, I thought it was okay. The beat and the song, I know you like it. I just, we'll let you go. I heard the little boom boom boom. I was like, such even have a ball with this one. This simple ass
Oh
beat.
man.
But yeah, I don't know. It just felt very skippable to me. I thought the beat and the song felt kind of reductive. Uh, but I kind of welcomed the beat change at the end where they gave kind of Future a different look. I thought that was more enjoyable to me than the hook that I thought was a little simplified. Water Boys I thought was a better example for me of a really simple, quirky beat working. Um, and to really tie it back into the whole Atlanta thing, it was a really cool allusion to the kids that I actually see like every day, like selling
Mm.
water on the side of the road to try to make a little bit of money during the spring and the summer. So it was cool how they took that, which is something that I'm sure people, in other areas are familiar with, but I'm pretty sure it's like mainly a Atlanta or down south thing, is seeing kids selling like individual water bottles. But really cool how they took that concept and tied it to what the desire for money does to people, and really tying those two ideas together, because the trappings of fame is something that they cover a lot on the album. So I thought that this was a really interesting idea that they tied to something that people from their area are really familiar with. But yeah, really strong opening, and I really enjoyed at least the sandwich. I don't enjoy the meat of the sandwich with Billy, but I enjoy the bread with Ghetto Gods and Water Boys. But what did you think?
Yeah, I thought that the opening, I thought the opening with 2 Chainz in Poetry kind of conceptually set the tone for the project, and showed you what they were trying to accomplish with this project. Just them being guys that shine and represent something great despite the ghetto or having a rough environment around them. And going into Ghetto Gods, really bright horns over a trap bass. And it made for a nice first track. Johnny Venus, I definitely think, brought more energy. And that's something that you see a lot in this project. You see a lot, if there is a criticism that I have overall for the project, it's Johnny V really bringing a lot to the table, creatively, from a hook and from a first verse perspective. And then Dr. Dutt, oh wow, great, just kind of being there a lot of time, even though he has really phenomenal verses, in my opinion. He didn't do as much dynamically. So this kind of sets that trend. Moving on into Billy, Dr. Dutt came in with that little scrappy flow that was really oozing charisma into the intro, that knuck if you buck kind of flow. And I thought it was excellent sonically, alongside the really pointy, bright synths that make you just kind of giddy in my feelings. Then Venus kind of switches the flow a little bit, but he really shines on his verse. And I love part 2 with Future, or the second half of the song with Future, and what he did on his verse. And it was the best Future verse that I've heard in a while. So I was glad that they were able to kind of inspire him to really be great on this project. And I love this song. I don't know. I like it. I can't help it. You know my taste. But yeah, Water Boys again.
Tomfoolery, silliness. that's your taste.
Yeah, man. Oh gosh. Water Boys, I thought was really dope, as in terms of like almost a posse track. You got 4 guys rapping on here, and they all just bring the fire lyrically. And I love Johnny's intro to the song. It made it really smooth and fun. He takes the first half of the song and just runs with it. JID rapped his ass off. Dr. Dutt does his thing in his verses, with the double time flow here and there. And then Cole just has some real quotables, and match that same lyrical precision. And I just love tracks like this. I can understand why they're on Dreamville. They all bring the same kind of energy. And it was reminiscent of, Down Bad, the energy that they brought to that song. So I love that they were able to incorporate that onto this project. Hey Boo, really funny skit. The skits on here with DC Young Fly just had me chuckling. So I like that. And then moving on to the second part of the album, from Amen with Music Soul Child. I really, this song was like a 4 out of 5 for me. That could have been great if not for the hook that just annoyed me, because I love the sound and I love the way they spoke and that they rap, but then Get Down on Your Knees for Me just does not do it for me as a hook. Just lyrically, it just threw me off, because it's like you're saying all this like nice stuff and you just sound like, get down on your knees for me, like on some Dave Chappelle, I wanna piss on you. Like, it's like don't be the
feminist in you jumped out a little bit.
Yeah, basically, I was like, ugh, like you're this close, you know what I mean?
There, yeah,
almost there. Because it's almost fake woke in a sense. But then All Eyes on Me, I like their reflective nature in the song. I like Johnny Venus's energy, and his thought process was really reflective and uplifting. And they rapped in a way that I thought complemented the beat. It was a nice blend of vocals and instrumentation. Wow, great, really brought that same energy. And I just enjoyed overall what they had to say. Lie to Me, I thought was a really, really interesting song. And this goes into that conceptual part of EARTHGANG that I like, in terms of them just saying something slightly different than you hear from a lot of Atlanta rappers, and a lot of Southern hip hop artists right now. The concept was brilliant in terms of discussing the pitfalls of living a life that you can't afford, and the way that people lie to themselves into thinking that they can afford this or that, and just try to live a glamorous facing life, but their day-to-day struggles are really apparent. And I like the vocals, the subtle bass kicking in, the warpy synths. This song did a lot for me. And then, kind of moving on to Gene's interlude, but this stretch of the album had some nice spots for me. How about you?
Yeah, I agree, man. I really liked Amen. I really hadn't thought about the hook, so thanks for ruining that for me. But yeah, I enjoyed the subject matter of their verses. I like the very subtle use of a vocal sample in the background that blends really well with the contributions from Music Soul Child. All Eyes on Me I thought was really good. I enjoyed the percussion. I enjoyed the subject matter of their verses on this one as well. I thought Wild Great / Dr. Dot had a really touching verse about maintaining closeness with his loved ones. Yeah, it leads right into Lie to Me. I really like the warped production here. I thought it went really well with their vocals. And I thought it was, like you said, a really interesting song and an honest song about the trappings of materialism and the pressure to maintain like a facade that a lot of people have to appear that they have it all. And this is a really great example of Johnny Venus showing off like his versatility as an artist, because I really enjoyed his contributions vocally here, especially on the chorus. Gene's interlude was cool. Black Pearls I thought was okay. I think I like the idea of body positivity, but the song rang kind of like vapid to me. Like I just didn't really think there was much there to it. Then there's an interlude with Neezy's Walk. I liked American Horror Story. I didn't really have anything too poignant to say about it. I think it's a song I might have to give another few listens because nothing really stuck out to me on first listen. And that kind of gets into Power, which is a very interesting song for sure. Just looking at the features, you're just like, okay, this is gonna be you got Nick Cannon on the track. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
But I thought it came together pretty well. I love the subject matter and the beat switch. I thought that the passion and the lyricism that they had here kind of would have been beneficial to the rest of the album, because I think it's missing a little bit in certain spots where it could have been used. I thought that they really brought it on this one. I also can't decide whether CeeLo's verse is corny or powerful. I'm gonna lean powerful for now, but it's definitely riding the fence. But yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag overall with that verse, and then I think with this section of the album, it's where it gets a little dicey for me. But what about you?
Yeah, this section, it has some ups and downs, definitely. I kind of echo what you were saying on Black Pearls. Neezy's Walk, I thought was a really powerful spoken word, and I thought American Horror Story is one of the better songs on this project. I love Johnny's first verse and the way the song kind of transitions and takes up the same reflective energy from the last song in terms of Black people's plight in America. The last song, the Neezy's interlude, that was more so about Black women's plight in America, and their bodies being taken for granted, versus American Horror Story is just about Black bodies in general. In terms of conceptually, Johnny tracing the ills and the pitfalls of Black Americans from slavery to modern day and doing it in song format, I thought was really brilliant. And his ability to make that heavy weight of a song compelling and interesting really showed me, again, like you said, his versatility, as well as their ability to have fun but also be serious. I like that duality, and it was a really fitting instrument as well. Power, it was kind of weird because I thought that their verses, EARTHGANG's verses on the song were really good. CeeLo, I was like up and down on. I thought he said some corny stuff towards the end of his spoken word, and I liked Nick Cannon's verse, or at least his spoken word and him just talking on the track, until he said, oh, then they had to give me my shit back. And I think about the controversy that he's referencing in terms of him saying some anti-Semitic marks, and then them literally firing him, and then him kind of like backing up his words and apologizing respectfully, and then eventually people saying that, this is a good opportunity for someone to learn and we shouldn't just cancel people. And eventually they gave him his jobs back. And I thought about that, and I was like, that this posturing that you're doing on this track is a little disingenuous. And so that's why that part of it kind of rang hollow for me. But then you go into Zaza, such a hilarious skit, man. DC, he had me cracking up. The Zaza. Miss me with a fucker. You know, it was hilarious to me. But yeah, Smoke Some, I thought the intro by Tane Tane was good. And the chorus from JV was really dope. Very laid back, well-crafted track about smoking, but then also describing the escapism of cannabis use and the impact that it has on you. And I really like the windy sound that they created on the verses, where it was like yeah. Like for some reason that I thought that stood out to me. And then going into a track like Strong Friends, a really beautiful song that reminded me of Friends That Break Your Heart, just describing friendship, but doing it from a different side of the friendship spectrum, where you're looking out for your friend. Look out for your quote unquote strongest friends, who put on the front that they have it all together. But we all know it's 2022. A lot of people are suffering from anxiety and mental illness to varying degrees. And it's good to reach out to your people, because you never know what your friends are going through. And a lot of people are going through it in silence. A lot of people lost loved ones. So the song I thought was really fitting. And just again, added to that ethos of EARTHGANG that I'm enjoying.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Zaza was hilarious. I think DC did this thing on the interludes here. Smoke Some, like you said, it can sound a little bit like it's just a smoking song, but like you said, when they lean into the verses talking about their problems and balancing their mental health with the desire for social justice, especially during, I'm sure a lot of this album was written during a very tumultuous time in America. I mean, it's always a tumultuous time in America, but I mean, you get the point. Yeah, and how marijuana kind of helps him cope with, balancing his stress and anxiety over the Black struggle with his own mental health. So really intriguing song. And then, to lean even more into the mental health aspect, really checking in with your friends that appear that they're okay, but actually really wondering if they actually are, and how that can really make a difference on Strong Friends. It's a really common phrase on social media nowadays, but to hear it in song form with the level of genuineness that they brought to it, I thought was really good. The musically though, the harmonic humming, I want to say that was Johnny Venus on there, maybe along with some other people mixed into the harmony, but I thought that was a really good touch to the song. Run To with Ari Lennox. Ari's one of my favorite R&B artists. Definitely looking forward to her album. I love whenever she does anything. So of course I love the hook on here. I thought the percussion was really good here, really pushes the pace of the song really well, but a really good closer to an album that I really enjoyed listening to. Three favorite tracks, if I had to say, I would definitely say Water Boys for sure. Great verses from Jid and Cole. Amen has me. I might have said Amen, but now you got me like you got me rethinking the hook. I'll probably go Run To, and give me Power. The end is a little bit of a mixed bag, but I really like what they did on the first half. I think it was really a flash for what they could do, because they had a song like Up on their last project that I thought was really unlike anything else that I've heard in rap recently. So I think they have that kind of potential. I don't know if I saw that on this album, because some of this is a little bit by the numbers, but I thought Power was kind of a flash into what they could do as a group. But despite the little bit of cringe on the end there. But yeah, those are my three favorites.
Gotcha. All right. I mean, for me, give me Billy, Lie to Me, and Water Boys. That's my jam. Those are my jams.
I feel you. If you had to recommend this album to our listeners or watchers on a scale of hard pass to must listen, what would you recommend?
For this project, I would say give it a shot. It doesn't get my highest recommendation, but it's a really strong give it a shot, because I think that they did some really cool stuff on this project. It's not typical, and you can really have a lot of fun with several spots on this album. So I hope people give it a shot and find something that they at least like on it, because I do think that there's something for a lot of people who just generally like good music to like from this project. And I thought that they did their thing. I feel like I understand EARTHGANG a lot better now, and I'm looking forward to when they're featured on a track or when Johnny Venus is available and doing something, I'm going to be checking that out. I'm going to be listening intently because I think that they have something special.
I would echo those sentiments. I think we're on the same page today. I mean, it's hit or miss whether or not we're on the same page as far as albums. But yeah, I'm also gonna go give it a shot. It's not bad by any means. I think it's an above average album, but I think that it's one of those albums that you listen to and you kind of do the new generation thing where you pick a couple songs off of it, or maybe a few, or maybe you build your own album out of it and kind of take away the fluff that you don't necessarily want to hear. But I don't think you do that with albums that you would highly recommend or albums that you think are must listens. So I think for me, it kind of lands in the give it a shot spot as well, because I think there's a lot to like on here. I think that they do a great job of really honing in on issues within themselves, but a lot of issues that are really central to living in a place like Atlanta, where you see it's almost like a mini Hollywood in a sense, with a lot of the things going on in the art scene, and a lot of things a lot of the ills that you see that come with the fame and the quick cash that you can get from various different avenues, but kind of intermixing that with the fact that it's not too far from the impoverished areas that they grew up in, and what that mix kind of does to people between the flash and the fame, and the level of poverty that they grew up in. So it's a really interesting mix, but it's also something that I think they can serve to display in a more cohesive fashion on future projects, because like you said, I think that they have something special within them as far as their talent and their uniqueness, and how they're not really scared to just do something that's off of the wall, to be unconventional. But
Right.
I want to hear them do something that I haven't heard before, and I don't think that they did that on this album. Because when you talk about like a group like Outkast, one thing that makes them unique is that they're one of one. Like there's not really anything like them. Like their first couple albums are entirely unique. They're incredibly different, and not that they need that comparison, because that's a heavy. That's like like just let YG be YG. You don't have to compare him to Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? Like let them be great. But I do think that they have that level of uniqueness within them. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do.